سيقول لك المخلفون من الأعراب شغلتنا أموالنا وأهلنا فاستغفر لنا يقولون بألسنتهم ما ليس في قلوبهم قل فمن يملك لكم من الله شيئا إن أراد بكم ضرا أو أراد بكم نفعا بل كان الله بما تعملون خبيرا.
O Prophet, the Bedouins who were left behind say to you, we were occupied with our goods and families, so ask forgiveness for us. They say with their tongues what is not in their hearts. Say to them, who can be of any avail to you against Allah if He should intend to cause you any harm or confer upon you any benefit? Allah is well aware of all that you do.
20. This refers to the people living in the suburbs of Al-Medina whom the Prophet, peace be upon him, had invited to accompany him in his march out for Umrah, but they had not left their homes in spite of their claim to faith just because they were afraid of death. Traditions show that these were the people of the tribes of Aslam, Muzayna, Juhayna, Gifar, Ashja, Dil and others. 21. This has two meanings. 1. That after your returning to Medina the excuse that these people will present for not going out with you would only be a lame excuse, because they know in their hearts why they had stayed behind. 2. That their imploring the Messenger, peace be upon him, of Allah for a prayer of forgiveness would only be an empty word of mouth, for in fact, they are either feeling remorse for their failure to accompany you, nor have they any feeling that they committed a sin by not going out with the Messenger, peace be upon him, nor are they seeking forgiveness sincerely. As for themselves they think that they did a wise thing by not going on the dangerous journey. Had they any desire for Allah and His forgiveness, they would not have stayed behind at home. 22. That is, Allah's decision will be on the basis of the knowledge that He has about the reality of your actions. If your actions deserve the punishment, and I pray for your forgiveness, my prayer will not save you from Allah's punishment. And if your actions do not deserve the punishment, and I do not pray for your forgiveness, my failure to pray will not do any harm to you. Everything is in Allah's control, not mine, and no one's empty words can deceive Him. Therefore, even if I accept as true what you say and then also pray for your forgiveness on its basis, it will be vain and without result.
بل ظننتم أن لن ينقلب الرسول والمؤمنون إلى أهليهم أبدا وزين ذلك في قلوبكم وظننتم ظن السوء وكنتم قوما بورا.
But the truth is not what you say. You had imagined that the messenger and the believers would never return to their families, and this notion was embellished in your hearts. You harbored an evil thought, and you are an immensely evil people.
23. That is, you were delighted to think that you had saved yourselves from the danger into which the messenger, peace be upon him, and his believing supporters were going. You thought you had done so by dint of your great wisdom, and you also did not feel any compunction in rejoicing at the thought that the messenger, peace be upon him, and the believers would not return alive from their expedition. You did not feel uneasy in spite of your claim to the faith, but were pleased to think that you did not put yourselves in the danger by accompanying the messenger, peace be upon him. 24. The word bi'ar, pl-bur in the original, has two meanings. 1. A sinful, perverted and evil-minded person who is incapable of doing anything good. 2. One who is doomed to an evil end and is following the path of destruction.
وَمَنْ لَمْ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَإِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ سَعِيرًا.
As for those who do not believe in Allah and His Messenger, for such unbelievers we have prepared a blazing fire.
25. Here, Allah in clear words is declaring all such people disbelievers and devoid of the faith, who are not sincere with regard to Allah and His religion, who shirk endangering their interests, their lives and wealth for the sake of Allah's religion when the time comes of their trial and test. But one should remember that this is not the sort of disbelief on the basis of which somebody in the world may be regarded as excommunicated from Islam, but this is the disbelief because of which he will be declared a disbeliever in the hereafter. The reason is that the Prophet, peace be upon him, even after the revelation of this verse did not regard as outside Islam those people in respect of whom it was sent down, nor treated them like the disbelievers.
وَلِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَغْفِرُ لِمَن يَشَاءُ وَيُعَذِّبُ مَن يَشَاءُ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَّحِيمًا.
To Allah belongs the kingdom of the heavens and the earth. He forgives whom He pleases, and chastises whom He pleases. He is most forgiving, most compassionate.
26. The mention of Allah's being all-forgiving and all-merciful, after the foregoing warning, contains in it a subtle aspect of admonition. It means this: even now if you give up your insincere attitude and way of life and adopt sincerity, you will find Allah all-forgiving and all-merciful. He will forgive you your previous shortcomings and will treat you according to the quality of your sincerity in the future.
سيقول المخلفون إذا انطلقتم إلى مغانم لتأخذوها ذرونا نتبعكم يريدون أن يبدلوا كلام الله قل لن تتبعونا كذلكم قال الله من قبل فسيقولون بل تحسدوننا بل كانوا لا يفقهون إلا قليلا.
When you press forth for the spoils, those who were left behind will say, "Let us accompany you." They want to change the command of Allah. Say to them in clear words, "You shall not accompany us. Thus has Allah already said." Then they will say, "Nay, but you are jealous of us." The truth is that they understand little.
27. That is, the time is approaching when these very people who were shirking accompanying you on the dangerous journey would see you going on an expedition in which there would be the possibility of attaining easy victory and much booty. Then they would come running and request you to take them also along. Such a time came just 3 months after the truce of Hudaybiyah, when the Prophet, peace be upon him, marched to Khaybr and took it easily. At that time everyone could see that after the truce with the Quraysh not only Khaybr but the Jewish settlements of Tama, Fadak, Wadi al-Qura and also others from northern Arabia would not be able to withstand the might of the Muslims, and would easily fall to the Islamic State. Therefore, Allah in these verses forewarned the Prophet, peace be upon him, that the opportunists of the suburbs of Al-Madinah would come up to take part in and receive their share when they would see easy victories being attained, and that he should tell them plainly, "You will never be allowed to take part in these, because only those who had gone forth to offer their lives in the conflict at Hudaybiyah regardless of every danger would be entitled to them." 28. Allah's word implies the decree that only those people would be allowed to accompany the Prophet, peace be upon him, in the expedition to Khaybr, who had taken part in the expedition to Hudaybiyah and sworn the pledge there, for Allah has reserved the spoils of Khaybr exclusively for them, as has been stated clearly in verse 18 below. 29. The words, "Thus did Allah say before," caused the people the misunderstanding that this refers to some other command bearing upon the same subject that might have been sent down before this verse, and since no such command is found in this surah before this verse, they started looking for it at other places in the Quran till they found verse 84 of Surah At-Tawbah, in which this very subject has been dealt with for another occasion. But that verse, in fact, does not apply to this, for it was sent down in connection with the Battle of Tabuk, and its period of revelation is 3 years after the period of revelation of Surah Al-Fatah. The fact of the matter is that this verse refers to verses 18 to 19 of this surah itself, And Allah's already having said this does not mean it's having been said before this verse, but it's having been said to the laggards before this conversation. This conversation with the laggards about which advance instructions are being given to the Prophet, peace be upon him, was to take place at the time of the expedition to Khaybr, and this whole surah, including verses 18 to 19, had been sent down 3 months earlier on return from Hudaybiyah on the way. A careful study of the context shows that Allah here is giving this instruction to His Messenger. When after your return at Al-Madinah the laggards come to you with their excuses, you should give them this reply. And when they express their desire to accompany you in the expedition to Khaybr, you should tell them this.
قل للمخلفين من الأعراب ستدعون إلى قوم أولي بأس شديد تقاتلونهم أو يسلمون فإن تطيعوا يؤتكم الله أجرا حسنا وَإِن تَتَوَلَّوْا كَمَا تَوَلَّيْتُم مِّن قَبْلُ يُعَذِّبْكُمْ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا.
Say to the Bedouins who were left behind, you will be called against those who possess great might and be asked to fight against them unless they surrender. If you obey the command to fight, Allah will bestow upon you a goodly reward. But if you turn away as you turned away before, He shall inflict upon you a grievous chastisement.
30. The words O Yaslamuna in the original can have two meanings and both are implied. 1. That they should accept Islam. 2. That they should submit to the Islamic rule.